Hello, Game of Thrones fans. I'm in finals week right now, which means that this review, actually, I wouldn't even call it a review. It's just going to be a discussion, and I'm just going to give you the points that matter to me, and then, that'll be that, because I have a lot of stuff to get done. So let's start with Cersei. So I'm actually kind of shocked at the fact that a lot of fans actually, found that Cersei in this episode was behaving more humanely, and, she was approaching these different characters and was acting borderline nice, which is saying something for Cersei. Let me tell you something. If a character that has been previously established, alright, to be a merciless bitch starts acting nice, it's probably because she wants something. In this episode, who did Cersei interact with? Who did we see her talk to? Okay? Number 1, Marjorie. Number 2, Oberyn. Number 3, Tywin. Daddy-o. What do those 3 characters have in common? Anybody? Actually, what is coming up in next week's episode? Tyrion's trial, right? Do you remember who the judges are going to be? Well, got 3 houses, so it's a representative for each house. Tywin for Lannister, Oberyn for the Martells, and Mace Tyrell for the Tyrells. Mace, by the way, is Marjorie's father. Given the fact that we know that Cersei wants Tyrion dead, or rather put to death through a legal sentence, it makes perfect sense for her to try to carry favor with people that are going to be, if not the judges of the trial, related to the judges, or one of the judges of the trial. That being said, Cersei did have a really good line in this episode, which is a reply to Oberyn's statement that we don't hurt little girls in Dorne, and she replies, all over the world, they hurt little girls. I also like the fact that she admitted that the things that Joffrey did went so far as to shock her as well. Do you think I'm easily shocked?
Hi, I'm Arya Stark, and I use a style of fencing called Peter fucking Pan.
Finish saying the name of every fucking person in Westeros. That one and then Baelish's quote are kind of tied for best quote of the episode. When he tells Sansa, know your strengths, use them wisely, and one man can become 1,000. Actually, you know what? There was an abundance of really good quotes in this episode. Like, there's one where, Dany says, how can I become Hokage if I can't even save one friend? Well, she doesn't say that, obviously. She says, how can I rule over 7 kingdoms if I can't get my shit together in Slaver's Bay? So I really like how the show is being realistic. And actually, this credit should technically go to George, but how they're showing that it's not just about, I'm going around freeing slaves. No, it ain't that easy. There's been rebellions and there's been violence, in Astapor and Yunkai. And so Dany is finding out that it's really not that simple, which is why, she feels a little bit insecure of actually going across the narrow sea to try and do something. But even regardless of the reasons that she mentioned as to why she doesn't want to go to Westeros just yet, I think there's an even simpler reason as to why it's not convenient to go just yet. And that's, the basic fact that her dragons are not fully grown yet. I'm not saying her dragons are small, actually far from it, but if you really want to show people in the 7 kingdoms who's boss, if you really want to rule like a tyrant, which honestly I just don't see any other destination for Dany's storyline, because I feel like that's what she'll eventually become, like this dictator. The amount of power that she's gained thus far has begun to corrupt her, and even though she started out with a very compassionate way of approaching people and just wanting to help people, I think that'll eventually, it'll corrupt itself, unfortunately. At least that's the feeling that I get. It just serves to validate Tywin's statement to Tommen a lot more about, Robert, right, and how he thought that winning and ruling were the same thing, when the fact of the matter is, no. In order to rule, to be a good ruler, you need wisdom, and in order to obtain part of that wisdom, you have to pay attention to experts, your council members. And Dany dismisses everything. As of right now, she's been turning down all of this really, really helpful, in my opinion, good advice, just because she's just too arrogant. I think the girl is arrogant. But then again, it's a Targaryen type of thing. I don't think it's necessarily like the Mad King. Jaime had already stabbed his ass, and he was like, you know, burn them all, burn them all. I'm like, you're gonna fucking die. So I don't know, do you think Daenerys' invasion of Westeros has been overhyped? I'm just gonna touch vaguely on what happened up north. The Ghost and Jon reunion I thought was really great. You know, the fucking, you know, sword through the mouth shot was amazing. Initially, I didn't know what to think about it. My brain actually had to take a couple of seconds to process the image. And then it was like, whoa, that's badass. The whole Bran sort of like side quest that he's got going on, I thought it was interesting, but at the same time, I could feel that this was deliberately stretched out to make the episode an episode. And I know it has to pay off, but the thing about this is, like, book readers, right, they knew that no way in hell was Jon gonna meet Bran. You know, because in the books, they weren't even in the same place at the same time. That being said, I really appreciated the scene with Hodor killing Locke, which, if you think about it, is kind of poetic and ironic, because Jaime was the one who pushed Bran out of the window, making him a cripple. And Locke was the one who chopped off Jaime's hand, making him a cripple. And now Bran is possessing Hodor to kill Locke. Pretty neat coincidence, if you ask me. Now let's get into the meat of the episode, which, in my opinion, totally revolves around the character of Littlefinger. Motherfucking Baelish, dude. I said in my previous review, if there's such a thing as a main villain for this story, for this series, it has to be Littlefinger. Has to be. Holy motherfucker. So, this motherfucker, not only, see, this is what's fucking, like, really concerning about his character. Not only did he convince or tell Lysa to poison her own husband, thus getting Ned involved. Because remember, you know, Ned grew under Jon Arryn, and so when the King of the Hand, Jon Arryn, died, Robert's like, well, I'm gonna, you know, bring in Ned to replace him, right? But here's the thing, that's just the tip of the iceberg. He also had a hand in poisoning Joffrey. He also, listen, who was Master of Coin before Tyrion? Littlefinger. What is one of the problems that is brought up in this episode by Tywin when he's talking to Cersei? Yo, we're broke. The Lannisters always pay their debts. If we don't pay this one, we're pretty fucked. Littlefinger, as Master of Coin, it looks like he made it his mission to try and build up enough debt on the Lannister side so that they would be fucking shitting their pants. And this is what's happening, and it's like, the Iron Bank is not to be fucked with, you know? You fuck with Bravos, and they're gonna send some assassins on your ass. Littlefinger is just nuts. You know, it kind of looks like, right now, it looks like every single thing that has happened that is significant plot-wise in terms of Game of Thrones has been orchestrated, or at least motivated by an action or a plan that Littlefinger had even before the start of the series.
Okay, so this is just like a small list of events that I've compiled. Major events, actually, in the series that have had, in some way or another, Littlefinger involvement in them. If you can look at the list and see if I'm missing, like, you know, another thing that has happened in which Littlefinger has been involved in, please let me know. I think the Red Wedding should go here as well. I just don't remember the specifics.
I kind of wonder if by the end, Littlefinger will be a POV character in the books, and we actually get to see the world through his perspective, and he can finally reveal, like, this master plan that he had from the get-go. Please let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the episode. Like the video if you did, that helps out a lot, as well as subscribing. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.